Hello, thank you for tuning in. I'm Chan, the Tech Man. I got a news story for you today. It's a lot of stuff about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's trial. This is Johnny Depp's trial. Here's about the day Amber Heard changed the locks to their apartment. And she changed the locks to the Los Angeles penthouse she shared with the actor. Well, she shared with him she had no right to change the locks. That's that's not very good. It's probably illegal. It's, get video evidence, and of course he's suing and the son because they called him a wife beater, which is now proven to be a lie. Um, Birch borrowed the childhood friend of Johnny Depp's. She borrowed money from him. Had yet to repay the money. He's generous to everybody, and just says he's honest. He's a true, honest man, good guy. He does the right thing, and probably was easy to get taken advantage of, and that's what happened. Uh, and her friends lived in a neighboring apartment that Johnny Depp owned, so he was doing a lot for her. It sounded like, and let's see, lived like almost family. Uh, That's exactly what it was, like friends, family, in this amazing top floor of this building. Five beautiful apartments, and everybody enjoyed what Johnny was funding. So basically, they was all living off of him. Huh, very interesting. Um, not doesn't say a lot of good stuff about her, does it? And he found Heard and a group of her friends changing the locks to the apartment. This guy Birch is what I'm going. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. Her marriage to Depp was collapsing. Well, that's all of his apartments, and if he owned that, especially if he owned that before they got married, that's all his. And if they owned it after, well, it's at least half his. She had no right to do that, and that's wrong. And you think about that, but he's putting all these people up, and he's that's a lot of money there, and she did that. That's really wrong. So they agreed, and that's what was going on. Uh, who's Miss Heard, whose demeanor I would describe at the moment as being very animated and in control, informed me that Mr. Depp had come by the night before and got violent, and that she was now changing the locks on all the doors of the penthouse 1, 3, and 5. Well, I don't know if she had the right to. If it's his before the marriage, she would have had to leave first. I don't know. I don't know the information on that, but it's clear. This has already been proven to be false. I'll get into this later. Heard also introduced her to a private security guard, said he will be hanging around. I was surprised and taken back as to what she just told me and said something like, "What? Wait, what happened?" And that's pretty. It's one night this happened. If he got violent, why didn't he just get arrested? Why didn't she tell the police? Oh, wait, Hollywood don't think of police, I guess, anymore. They hire the private security guards. Um, if it really happened, she would have called the police, got him locked up. I don't legally, I don't think she could. She can't just change the locks legally. Um, she can call the police and get a restraining order or something. That would have been a lot different. And she still, I don't know if she could change the locks or not, but restraining order, he wouldn't be able to get around if he did do that. So that's kind of fishy there. Uh, Drew then stepped towards Baruch while giving him a head wave to follow him. Drew told him Depp was drunk and got angry, had hit her, and threw a phone at her. Uh, well, just throwing a phone at somebody was not bad anyway. Not really. Depends especially whose phone it is. If it's his, and he's just breaking his own phone. I've seen people throw phones. That's not necessarily getting violent, but it's already proven that none of this happened. Heard's friends said they were going to stay and protect Miss Heard in just in case the would come back and got violent. Wait, I thought she got a private security guard. Interesting. Brock said he did not, just people trying to mooch. That's a word I can think of. Brock said he did not see any marks on her face when she alleged Depp had struck her with a phone. She told me that he hit her in the face, threw a phone at her. He then asked her where he had hit her, and she stretched her neck and side, pushed out the right side of her head to me to look at her right eye. We both was standing in front of the open doorway of penthouse one with lights in the hallway with the sunlight that came through the window of penthouse one, which filled the room, spreading into the hallway. It was very easy for me to get an excellent view of Miss Heard's face. I literally was around 12 inches from her, inspecting her face, and did not see a single mark or evidence of any marks, bruising, or swelling of any kind anywhere on her face. Heard was not wearing makeup. He said her face looked to me just as natural and normal as all other times I've seen it over the past 3 years while hanging out together around the apartments. Then he said that Heard often he saw Heard often over the next few days, spotting no injuries before she went to court sporting a bruised cheek, which she said came from the altercation with Depp. The trial continued when Heard was going to take the stand. So, for several days, that would have already showed up. It wouldn't have just all of a sudden magically showed up uh, for court, Here's this saying the housemate says Amber Heard faked injuries for blackmail. A live-in friend who witnessed Johnny Depp's tumult marriage with Amber Heard told Hollywood actor label trial uh, libel trial Friday the actress faked her injuries in order to blackmail him. Very interesting. Son, before, Son says it could prove the 50 show. Son said that they could prove that it happened, and that's what the trial is about. He kicked off proceedings last week by admitting he told Heard after a particular stormy encounter the two were a crime scene waiting to happen. You know, um, Basically, he was saying, it's toxic when he said that. That's not violent or abuse. It's not saying he will. He's saying it's got to him so toxic. That didn't say he would do anything. Basically, probably saying that she could do something to him, and him admitting saying that, it's points for him. But the focus shifted to actor Actors' alleged tendency to smash things while high or drunk to hurt credibility as Depp um, artists pictures of phony said pictures of Hurt's injuries leaked to the media were phony baloney. This person, this is Isaac, a childhood friend, and this is basically a more of a count on it. She had filed a fraudulent domestic violence claim to push her hand and extort and blackmail him in the divorce. Not a single bruise. Photo in question shows the right side of Heard's face around her eye covered in red marks. Depp's friend said he saw Heard from 12 inches away. I just read that. There's no bruises. And so there's no reason to read the rest of that. So I'm not sure about this one. Let's read this together. This accuser said she was misquoted in Johnny Depp Amber Heard abuse story. Oh, well, I want to see that. Uh, Catherine Kendall, an actress and activist, said she was assaulted. Seems that Amber got hurt and condemning violence. So she was misquoted and misused by the British tabloid accused. So they misquoted it, making it think like so they can do their narrative of it, making it think like she was saying that. Uh, Making it seem like she accused Johnny Depp, but it says well, she was true that she was a victim of Harvey Weinstein, but the rest was a lie. I'm not going public on behalf of his, nor did I accuse Depp of hurting Amber Heard, about which I have no first-hand knowledge. So it's misquoted to make it sound like she was accusing, but she did not say it. Also said that she had heard several times that Heard was abusive to Depp. And this is a person that was abused by someone else. So that's really saying something. It really is. So I don't think I have to read any more of that. That's really saying something. A lot. Let's see what this one says. Exorcist says Amber Heard twisted the story. Okay. This is Amber Heard's former personal assistant claimed Wednesday that she told the model actress about a violent sexual assault she had endured, only for her to twist the story for her own use. So she used her assistant's story as her own. So this is saying that Amber Heard made up the story, uh, well, used the story and twisted it. Basically, what she's saying that Amber Heard made up a story that didn't happen to her; it happened to her assistant. Since she gave a dramatic testimony at the trial, accused the actor of abusing. This was a trial. It talks about the trial, and where she gave the. So she was shocked to learn that in a witness statement, Heard misrepresented and exploited the incident. She referred directly to a violent rape that occurred 26 years ago. She twisted it into her own story and used it for her own use. Now that's really bad. That's really, really bad. That's a slap in the face to her assistant that it actually happened to. That is really, really bad. She's a sexual violence survivor, and that's very, very serious to take that stance if you are not one. That's really bad. I agree. It's really bad. Heard that's a slap in the face to her. Really, It is. There's no really to it. It is completely. I guess really is meaning it is, but that's really bad. Heard is due to give. Uh, okay, yes, she's due to give evidence, and Kevin Murphy claimed Heard pressured him to commit perjury about the traveling and risk of losing his job. Hmm. What do you think about that? She wanted him to essentially say that it was my fault, and no, in one way or another, that the paperwork wasn't completed, so that I couldn't take the blame. So that I could take the blame for her. That's what Murphy said. Interesting. A lot of stuff here going on, isn't it? Asked she asked Murphy to falsely claim that she didn't know that it was illegal to bring the dogs to Australia, which has strict animal quarantine policies. That's pretty interesting. Um, got a lot of stuff here coming on. It's kind of what it's saying here is developing the character of her lying. He's a good character witness there on us. And why on earth did you not go to Mr. Depp to ask him to intervene rather than just lying on oath? The lawyer asked. Because Amber wielded a lot of power and would have made my life miserable. Hmm, very interesting. How she get? It's really something. Uh, they smuggled dogs into Australia. Well, that's against. I'm sure that's breaking some federal law somewhere. Um, let's see. So she felt she was above the law and described Heard as the demanding employer, saying that she received incoherent, abusive text messages. He They received the text messages from Heard, so that shows that Heard was sending abusive text to them, incoherent, abusive text, almost daily basis. That's what he was talking about as a cocktail. If they're both, you know, that's no good. That's not a good situation. The Sun lawyer suggested that James had colluded with Depp to tell lies that made her look bad, and he said that they said it's simply not true. So, and here we got another article that said talked about Elon Musk visited Amber Heard regularly at Johnny Depp's L.A. penthouse. I'm not going to read this; it's pretty explanatory there. I'm not saying I don't like him, but that was a bad choice for him to do that. He should not have done that. I hope he learns from his mistakes, and it kind of brought him in here and he getting his name, soiling his name there, and maybe he should make better decisions. So I'm gonna get off of here now. I'm Chan Chan, the Tech Man. Thank you for tuning in. I know this was a little long video, but it was a whole lot to go through. I come to your own conclusions on this, and I'll keep you informed if anything else happens. And thank you. My website is chansmith.me. Go there, chansmith.me. The link will be in the description of this video. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like this video and my other videos. Share all my stuff on your social networking. If you want to donate, go to my website. There's a link to donate. You help me get different things. So I appreciate that, and different things for my web videos and stuff, webcam, backdrop, software, all that kind of stuff. So thank you for tuning in.